but I am in here. I'm going to start the second layer on this painting. And I thought maybe if anybody wants to just kind of hang out with me, let's hang out. So let me get that going. Give me a second. Woo! Turn my camera around. I hope you can hear me all right. And see the painting. I guess I'll apologize for not having a photo reference on here, but it is what it is. So taking a look at my palette right now, I have titanium white, lemon yellow, cadmium red, quinacridone. This is my favorite extra color. Hold on, what is it? It's the Mussini transparent gold green. It is a fabulous, fabulous color, especially for warm areas like here in Greece. Ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and raw umber. So let me just get some more lemon yellow. All right. So I did this first block in yesterday, and I just want to work with it, get it a little bit more just get it more better established. I'm gonna move this back a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. There, we should stop moving now. All right, so I've got, this will be water as the sea is just coming up lightly on the shore. I wonder if I can show you guys. Here is the photo reference. Of course, it's much brighter on the iPad than what it is, and so you can kind of see how I'm working with that. You can see the water here. It's a lovely yellow green, which is why I have this transparent green, this transparent golden green on my palette, because it's just perfect for the waters here in Greece. Okay, so I'm just gonna mellow out here and not worry too much. Just thought I'd let you come along on the ride. I'm going to mix up some ultramarine blue, get another sky color going. There is a way to add an extra camera. My laptop is not yet ready or equipped for that. You know, you want to mix a gray for the sky. So adding, like I added a little of the lemon yellow just to warm it up a little bit. This is the ultramarine blue, so it already has red in it. So I'm adding a little bit of the yellow, and that, you know, is creating a beautiful, more dull down version. Okay. Adding a little bit of titanium white. That looks pretty good. So what medium am I using? All right, well, when I'm usually doing a painting that is still, I mean, this is dry to the touch. I think because it's so warm now, it's a little bit tacky. Generally, I don't use medium at all. If I do on these stages of a painting, you know, use liquid original or just plain linseed oil, depending on what I want. But I'm not going to use anything today, so I'm going to get the lighter part of the sky. So you want to be careful. This is going to be a tree that comes up a little bit, but I want to get some of the sky holes in. But a couple of things. First of all, sky holes in your trees need to be darker than the color that you're using for the sky. And also, as you see on the end, look how much the eye pulls to this part right here and just leads you right out of the painting. So this also, even though logically it is a lighter part of the sky like here, we cannot use it in the painting in the same way. So let me tone that down a little bit along with the sky holes. And I toned it down. I lowered the value just by adding ultramarine. Just a little bit more of the ultramarine, but I'm going to add again a little bit more of the lemon yellow. And I think just a smidgen touch of raw umber, because this tree will be using raw umber, just to set it back. Raw umber is not my favorite color to use. I don't particularly like it on its own, but it is an earth toned leaning towards green, and that works for me in this painting here. Okay. So there's two things that I'm doing here in the sky. One is toning down this area, and when I get the tree coming in, it will be pulled away even more. The way to do this, to make this spot not stand out, is to make the tree coming on this side pretty much the same value. Not having high contrast in value, as well as not, that also helps, doesn't it? Just getting rid of that branch. So not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do that for now. Okay. Putting in a little bit of the sky reflection just for me. It needs work in general, the entire bottom of the water there. It's by the lower value here and the higher value here, it looks like a hill coming up, when in fact it's not. It's just flat. And in the reference photo, which I wish I had available, or I knew how to put it on here during the live thing. I actually don't know how to do that, but anyways, I have to fix that, so I will take care of that later. So coming back to this sky area, just really getting a sense of the intensity of it. There's two ways, you know, there's the dome of the sky, which is going to be darker than the sky and the horizon, which will be lighter. There'll be more light. But also it's going this way as well. So you have from this side where the sun is, coming on this side, it will be darker. Just a very subtle change. And I think pulling this bush that's coming up a little bit lower also is creating a more dynamic horizon line on the sky. So I'm going to go with that. And in this layer, again, it's the time where I come in and just really pull everything together. And by doing that, then I'm able to move fully into pulling in the details, getting the last, well, the details would be in the final layer. Normally I do this twice before doing the final layer, which is going in with the details. This is an oil painting study. I have the 2 previous videos that I've done on the recording of this day. Yesterday and the day before are part 1 and part 2 of the 3 key steps or 3 easy steps to creating great paintings. Because if you do these steps, the preliminary steps, first of all, starting with your notan of the image, like creating notans and playing around with that, and then moving into the composition and designing your painting by putting in the large shapes and how they're going to work and what everything is pointing to. Deciding if you're going to go with the Fibonacci spot, which I am in this painting. So that would be right here. Putting in a seagull. I just want to get the glitch of it, right? So that is my spot. This is the Fibonacci spot. So if you go with the thirds, here is the crosshairs. And the Fibonacci area, the golden ratio, is just diagonal to the rule of thirds crosshairs. So, you know, you have your crosshairs. I could have put it here as well, but this has got the dark already, and it's just the perfect place. So this is where my little seagull is going. And, you know, everything is pushing up and leading towards this this spot right here. So I think it's going to work really well. I'm just going to get that going. And it creates that balanced imbalance. So if you use everything on the crosshairs, everything is, to me, just too balanced. And when you do like the Fibonacci thing, it's just slightly diagonal from the crosshairs. No big deal, right? But it's enough to just kind of imperceptibly pull the painting off balance. And I just love it. I just love it. I'm absolutely thrilled that I came across the Fibonacci thing, the golden ratio, and even more thrilled that I figured out how to find the Fibonacci spot without doing all the math. I have a video on that called the Easy Golden Ratio Hack. Not about the rule of thirds. It was a different hack using anatomy of a rectangle, and not the rule of thirds. It was anatomy of a rectangle. That's what the hack was for me, which is also a really good way to go about your painting. But I'm liking this, so I'm going to move on and do the. I wish I could have my photo reference like right here. I wonder if afterwards I can put in a photo. Probably won't have the best view. I wonder if I could clamp it up here. Maybe. And maybe not. Anyhow. Yeah, I am gonna find the other clamp, which, give me a moment. Here we go. So I always keep one of these in my gouache. Well, that's too high, isn't it? Failure. So living on this tiny little Greek island, I have to constantly work with I don't know, figuring things out, finding ways to get things to work. No, maybe I can put that. It's still not going to. It's still not going to hold. Well, anyways, this is what I'm trying to paint, and yeah, so you can see it. I don't know if I can go back in after I do this live and figure out a way to figure out a way to attach it onto okay, anyways, sorry for that. So this is my Fibonacci spot. It's going to work really well. I just know it. And so the next step is to go in. There's kind of an olivey green color like I have here. And there are these bushes coming up. Of course, this is in the no-fly zone. Out on the edges, you don't want to put a lot of detail in the no-fly zone. So I'm going to do a very mild shadow area. I'm going to add a little bit of the quinacridone ultramarine blue into the sky color just to create just a little bit. And to be honest, there's really no purpose for these trees here. So it could in fact just be reduced. In other words, gotten rid of. Yeah, I think a little bit might be okay. You don't want to do this, you know, it looks like a little spike here. Just do a barely visible kind of adjustment. Okay. Today's what, Tuesday? It's pretty early for my American friends. All right, so I have this tree to put in. And I'm going to mix, again, ultramarine blue and the raw umber, leaving it more towards blue to push it into the background, and also olive trees are chunky. I mean, they don't have any kind of roundness, especially the wild ones. Obviously, when you go past an olive field, you see all these olive trees that are groomed and well cared for. This one is a wild one, but I want to keep it that way. So as it's getting darker, the shadow area in here, I'm going to add more of the raw umber and ultramarine blue without any of the sky color to get the tones of what's going on in here. There's a couple I don't want too much. I have to be careful of too much. But you can get the shape of a tree. I'm going to try again this area. Maybe. I'm going to leave it for now. And again, mixing in the sky color to this raw umber and blue mix to get that olivey green that is coming in this area. And I want to bring the movement of coming down because we want everything to basically come to this focal point right here. And I'm always careful to the warmth and coolness of my shadows. The closer I'm getting to the foreground, I tend to use warmer color. So ultramarine blue for me is a cool color. It is not for everyone, but for me it is. And so I will add more burnt sienna to the mix as I'm coming forward. Okay, everything pointing here, everything to this focal area, which is going to be a little seagull. You can see in my other videos, the previous two videos as I'm working on the key elements of putting this painting together. In other words, the no-tan and the composition and design of the painting. And so I was playing around with putting a seagull here or putting something else. But the seagull is going to be my seagull's going to be the thing to use. And as I'm going, moving into the background area again, as you can see, this dark is too dark. So I'm going to add again some of the sky color into the mix. Ultramarine blue and raw umber. Still too light. Let me just tone that down. And keeping the shadows cooler. Sometimes adding a little bit of the quinacridone to get more of a purple color, at least down in this area. And always mixing in a third color, just slightly, graze it down. Okay, it's not looking too bad. I'm going to get a movement here. Yes, I'm liking that very much. This bush here, it is some kind of broom. What you guys? I think it's called broom, with those beautiful yellow flowers, which is what this one is here. It's also in the background. So how do you paint that without it being too green? If this one here has little bits of yellow flowers, I would definitely tone it down. This is almost an orangey color that I'm using. similar to that. So again, my colors are lemon yellow, I'm using lemon yellow quinacridone rose, ultramarine blue, and mixing it. I'm going to add some titanium white, which will also cool it down. Okay, so just getting a play of that. It's looking pretty nice for me. The more I'm coming into the foreground, I will add movement towards the focal area, connecting these two in a way that will work. Got some here too, which I can use not creating a line going out, but you know, did you see I just kind of did a little curve. Things that, you know, when somebody looks at the painting won't really know, they won't notice it, you know, this little movement back up, right? But people are not supposed to notice it. It's just working the eye around, keeping people inside your painting. And there's so many beautiful little tricks like that. It's very subtle. And you can even think of when we are, let's say, discussing something. I've been talking about arguments in this past week on my morning musings, and talking about how everything we do in the painting can be related to our lives. And, you know, this little trick, no, let's not go off the painting and into a different subject. Let's stay here. How can I bring it back to the center, bring it back to the focal point, keep us interested and engaged in this topic? And we do much of the same thing in our painting. Or we do it in our painting, and we do it in our lives. It's the things that I absolutely love about creating art. Just getting the light side of those olive leaves. I don't like this part right here, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to get a new brush so I don't have to wash. Moving to this, where are you? Okay, and I'm going to add some white to the sky color to lighten it, because here that's what I want. Okay, just a brush stroke. There's too much of a 1, 2, 3, and you think, big deal. And it really isn't a big deal. However, if you come at it there, you see how it makes a difference? It really does. So then that brings this little bush up into the sky area. And I like that. That's going to work. So like I was saying in my video, this is so true. It's so true. If you do the pre-work of doing, you know, a quick color study, the notan, and the design of the painting, and figuring out if you're going to use a Fibonacci golden ratio spot or not, you have such a good handle on the painting so that when you get to this stage, it really comes together nicely. You're not guessing. And I like that. There are other artists out there who just want to guess. They want to get the experience of painting it, what's going on right now, and what they can do to fix a certain issue in the painting in the moment. And yes, that is often what is going on also in, even with a structured painting like this one. For a mind like mine, who can be, I don't know, I can get distracted easily. I can lose my direction. For me, it's easier to have a plan. And then when I come to the plan, if I want to change something, then I can do it without any real danger to my painting. And I like that. I do. I like that idea. So this is all working quite well for me. I'm just going to do that. Okay. You can see this area up here is bothering me. I'm still not happy with it. I do want it to be a slope. So I'm exaggerating that area up there to bring it down. And, you know, that's another little trick. Okay, so I've kind of gotten this going. I want to do this groundwork area, which is basically this, a strip of land. It's got this rock coming into it, and I added this one over here as a stop, right? So you're not sliding out of the picture. So this area is in the photo reference. It's kind of a dull reddish, like dried weeds kind of color. And I want to use it. I don't know if you can see it in the... I'm looking at this area and this one right here. And I'm going to use the quinacridone and mix it with white, which is going to give me a bright pink. Can you see that? That's a bright pink. So to tone down any red, you want to add green. So I'm going to add the transparent green that I have on my palette. And that gives me, you can see, which I like, but it still needs to be, but it's warm. I'm going to go with a cooler mix. So I'm going to take burnt raw umber with the quinacridone, because raw umber is basically a green. See, earth toned greenish color. See, it's much darker. I'm going to add a little bit of, okay, that's looking really good. So I'll show you, right? We have right here I'm adding a little bit of the first color that I did on top. Moving towards the back, I'm adding a little bit of the sky color. Just ultramarine blue. It's a little bit of the yellow, which I already have, so just ultramarine blue and white actually mixed in, and it will tone it down. Okay, and you don't need to get too specific about it. Obviously, these are not the important areas, Bringing some on this side as well to help balance. Okay. I don't like that there's two separate spots here. So I think what I'm going to do is come in and just really tone that part down. Okay. Bringing little dabs here and there to direct and create unity. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna stop here. We're at 57 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope this turned out all right. You know, I will see you again later on. I just may do this whole painting in live sessions whenever I'm able to get back in the studio. So take care, everyone. Have a beautiful day.